Well. Good morning to all of you. This is CJ, all the way from Waukegan, Illinois, welcoming you to our TV broadcast show where we're here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time. And I want to thank you for being a part of this wonderful show. Thank you for tuning in, for supporting us, because we are on a mission to let the whole world know about this wonderful opportunity called Shop-Free Mart. We are on a mission to make a difference in this world and help individuals who are hurting financially. People are hurting physically, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, because I really believe that what we present as representatives of Shop-Free Mart allows everyone to advance in every one of those areas, especially in the health aspect. So you can say, well, what is Shop-Free Mart? What is this show all about? Well, yeah, we are individuals that are committed to letting individuals know that there is something more than what they've been experiencing in regards to their health and their wellness. There are people all over the world that are hurting because of different diseases, because of different maladies, ailments, pain that are just chronic, and they don't know what to do about it because they don't know where to find the answers. Well, I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that you came in and tuned into the right show today because we have the answers to those questions. We have the solutions to those situations. Some people are hurting financially, where they're just totally broke, sick and tired of being totally broke, where they have more month at the end of the money instead of more money at the end of the month. And we're here to say to you that being a part of Shop-Free Mart can be the answer, the solution to that as well. So again, I want to welcome all my friends in the Bahamas. Family, love you. All those over in Africa and in Europe and the UK, my friends that are tuning in, thank you for being a part of this. Today is Tuesday, April 2nd. So glad it's not the first, because you may think this is an April's Fool's joke. But the reality is this is the 2nd of April, 2019, and we're here broadcasting live from GMAP1.com. And we want you to be a part of our show every single week. We are so humble that you take the time out of your day to be with us. And some of you are watching this after the live broadcast. We want to thank you for, even if you stumbled across this broadcast, to listen in, because we have a very, very powerful show for you today. The question, and there's always been a debate about our education system, and how that compares to someone deciding to be an entrepreneur. And that is what we're going to discuss today. So thank you again for coming in. I want to say a shout out again to all my friends that are part of our Near Tide program and marketing plan, and Dassel Daly, my friend over there, Dr. Wheaton, Mike Sandalen, and all of you guys down in Chattanooga, Dolores and Tracy, and all my other friends, a part of Shop-Free Mart. You guys know who you are. I always get in trouble when I start calling names. But the reality is that we have a commitment here with individuals who are sold out on this. We have people like Liddy in Georgia. We have people like Dr. Breakthrough, our company's national trainer now, who's out there just sharing this every single day. We have people like Coach Peyton, Coach Kim, who are doing an extremely unbelievable job of just sharing Shop-Free Mart around the world. I'm telling you all of this to say this. Our mandate, our responsibility is to explode and introduce to the world this opportunity called Shop-Free Mart. Why? Because we really truly believe that this is the most powerful force that will allow individuals to finally live their dreams. People who can finally start to see some of the things that they want to happen for them in life come to reality, come to fruition. I heard a statement that said, don't downgrade your dreams to match your reality. Upgrade your faith to maintain your destiny. Ladies and gentlemen, what that means is that a lot of us have dreams and ideals that we want to accomplish in our lives, especially when we're younger. But as we get older and we see those things start to fade away, whether it be because of lack of education, whether it be a lack of exposure, whether it be a lack of opportunity, whatever the reason is, those dreams start to dissipate. Those dreams start to become on the back burner, and then we come into that place of just existing, and we get comfortable with it. And the reality is that is not what the Lord wants for us. That is not what He designed us for. He wants us to be all that we can be, so that we can be all that we can be and do all that we can do for Him. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're here today to expose this opportunity to the world, because we really truly believe that of all the opportunities, all the things out there, the average person like me and you who are just looking for an answer, this is the answer. So I hope you are tuned in and excited about what we're going to talk about today. But before I get started, I want to let you know what I'm going to talk about. I want to give you my disclaimer and let you know what position I'm at, because I don't want anybody to be misled, I should say, on what my position is when it comes to education, okay? The second thing is we have a very, very powerful video. I hope you can see it. If you can listen in to hear the words from this short video that really let you know where even our young people are today. Because reality is that this really is about them, isn't it? I mean, those of us that are 50 and above, we lived our life. We're blessed to have another day. And the reality is that, our time is coming where we're here to support and uplift and encourage these young people. But sometimes we don't get to know where their position is, where they're at in regards to education, in regards to their future, in regards to employment, in regards to their dreams. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and you're going to see a very powerful video. And if you want, I want you to call in for me, and then call in this number, and I'm going to give you the number in a minute, and just allow individuals to share, if you so please, of what your thought process is on this whole idea of education versus entrepreneur. So that's what our show is all about today. Today I want to talk about, with our audience, education versus entrepreneurship. Education versus entrepreneurship. So I want to put my disclaimer out there first. I am not opposed to an individual deciding to acquire an education, a higher education, a college education, an education from a university. This TV broadcast is simply to shed light on both sides of the equation and allow you, our audience, to come up with your own opinion and your own conclusion. So I don't want anyone writing into the station GMAP 1 and sending a letter to our producer and technical guy and owner and founder of GMAP 1, Pastor Kevin Stroud, I should say, and saying, hey, that CJ guy I don't know what's up with him, but you need to get him off your show. I don't want those write-ins. I don't want you texting in. I don't want you emailing him saying CJ is anti-education. And because that, ladies and gentlemen, is not what I am saying. I am just the messenger revealing information to just think about both sides. And what I want to do on the other side is that as for the entrepreneur, there's so many directions I can go with that, but I really want for you, our audience, to consider Shop Free Mart as that other side of the equation. We have education. We have an opportunity to be an entrepreneur, but let's specifically talk about what that looks like as being a part of Shop Free Mart. Is that okay? Can you get connected with me on that today? Because I think it's going to be powerful. I think it's going to shed some light, and some of you are going to be thinking about this and maybe even encourage you to go ahead and do some research on your own and really seriously evaluate your own situation. Some of you are listening, you don't have nothing but a high school education, which is great. You may not even have a high school education. You may have a associate's degree, a bachelor's degree. It doesn't matter. You can have a PhD. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're at, I want you to evaluate the information that's being disseminated on this TV broadcast today and decide where you're at. And also decide, what are you going to do? Are you going to stay where you're at? Or are you going to make a difference? Okay? So last week was a very exciting week for me. Let me tell you what I experienced, what I had, okay? I was privileged to be one of the chaperones on an HBCU tour that was sponsored by the Waukegan Township. And it was a very, very beautiful tour, very nice tour. Very unbelievable experience for me personally. We took over 44 students, and we had 6 chaperones, so it was over 50 of us that were on this trip. And we went to approximately 8 or 9 HBCU. For those of you that don't know, that's historically black colleges and universities. So we were giving these students the opportunity to get a glimpse or an idea of what it was like to be on these campuses. and what being on an HBCU campus would look like, so it will help them to be able to decide what they were going to do or where they were going to go once they were finished with their high school careers. There was some ambitious students. Some of them were, seniors, some were juniors, some were freshmen, and some were sophomores. But the reality is that they got at an early stage to really get a bird's eye view, which will help them in making their decisions later on in life. We went to see institutions such as Tennessee State, Spelman University, Clark, Morehouse University in Atlanta. We went to Florida, and we went to Florida A&M for FAMU. Got a chance to explore that campus, get to talk to some of the tour guides that gave us some really, and what I found on all of these, there was such rich history on every one of these campuses. We went to places like Alabama State University, got a chance to speak to the president of that institution, very nice young man. I can't remember his name right now, but he really took time out of his schedule to speak life, to speak encouragement into our young students. And I really was happy to see such a young black man that has done so well, had his undergrad, his master's degree, and his PhD, all from Alabama State University. I think he was the 15th president, but he was a president that was the first to have that complete, all three of his degrees from the same university, and now is the president. Very, very proud to see that. Then we went to Tuskegee University, which is very prevalent, especially up here in the north, because we hear so much about the Tuskegee Airmen. We have some of them that even lived in this area, and we honor them a lot of times during the year. So that was exciting to go down and spend some time on the campus of Tuskegee University. I also went to Jackson State University. You know what? Again, I've never been to an HBCU, so it was a good experience for me. But one thing that connected me with Jackson State was that those of you from the Chicagoland area, you know this, who attended that school and graduated from that school probably broke all the football records and just had a great career there. No one else but one of my, one of my sports idols, I hate to use that word, but one of the guys that I really looked up to was Sweetness. That's right, Walter Payton graduated from Jackson State University. In fact, they have a whole gymnasium, a whole complex that's named after him. So it was really nice to go and spend some time on that university. Went to Rush University in Tennessee and some others, but the experience in itself was just an awesome experience. We learned a lot about the schools, about the history, about the areas of specialties that these schools specialized in, their uniqueness. Some information was eye-opening to me, actually. For me, like, the student population and what was the ratio between the students and the teacher, and what majors they had on campus, and how many days. One school, I think, just went to school from Monday to Thursday. I can't remember which one it was. They had Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. Not that they didn't do anything. I'm sure they were in their library studying, and when the parents called, they would say, "Yeah, Mom, yeah, Dad, I'm in the library studying right now. Yeah, I know it's Saturday, but that's where I'm at." But you know what? Just that was kind of different for me, and I thought, hey, I wish it was like that when I was in school. But the reality is that was unique to that school. So I also learned some of the things like, what sports the schools participated in, what division they were in. But the one thing that really caught my attention, I want to focus on today a little bit, is that the graduation rate of the students. Because when I heard that number, and I couldn't decipher what the reasoning was behind all of it, but there was some people, some institutions, that the graduation rate was as low as 40%, some as high as 65%, some even lower than that. I was averaging probably about, if you average it out, probably about 50% graduation rate. So as I thought about Mart and being an entrepreneur and education, and the first question that came to my mind, I hope you hear this, what happens to the other 50% that didn't graduate? What do they do? Where do they go? What happens with their life? I know sometimes you have people even that graduate. They graduate in one field of study, and they end up finding employment or work or opportunities in a completely different field. In fact, that was the case with me and my wife, actually. My wife was a political science major. She graduated with a political science degree from Luther College back in 1982. And now she's been in this industry for many years. She's been in the pharmaceutical industry for many, many years, where she should have had like a nursing degree or scientific background degree, but she was a political science degree and is now working in the pharmaceutical field. I myself was a business major, and I double majored with Black Studies, and I thought I have used my business major for many of the entrepreneurial businesses and traditional business that I've had in the past. But the reality is, right now, my primary employment and vocation is working in the social work field, where I'm a case manager helping young men transform their lives from addiction, from incarceration, from addiction to alcohol and drugs and homelessness, and helping them get back on the feet. And I love what I do because I'm making a difference in other people's lives. But it's not what I went to school for. So my point is this, is that even if you graduate and you have the degree that you were looking for and so desired, then is it something that you are going to be utilizing later on in your life? I heard a statistic even while on this tour is that, you know what, most people, once they graduate, they probably, go into about 3 or 4 different professions or areas before they settle into the actual employment or area that they have decided to stick with. Because that is just the statistics, and so I really had to wonder about that. But again, it drew me back to the question of what happens to the other 50% that did not graduate. And so that is what we are going to talk about today and take a closer look at. I'm encouraging those of you that have a chance, you can call in if you want to chime in and express what your thought process is on this. I would love for you to do that. But let's talk a little bit about this. And this is where it starts to get a little dicey, okay? Because the reality is that college education today or higher education today is not cheap, okay? So many students graduate laden with debt, student loans that they have to pay off. They're not able to pay back some of these student loans right away. In some cases, they don't ever get to pay them all back because they are, and what it does is it causes them to be at a disadvantage. What do I mean by that? A person getting an education, coming out of college, have the debt, but if they can't find employment right away or find suitable employment right away to take care of their financial responsibilities and be able to pay that debt off, it puts them in a very, very bad situation. It affects them in a very negative way. It kind of put them behind the 8 ball, so to speak, and put them at a disadvantage right off the bat, compared to those who don't have those loans to pay back. So, some of us are blessed to have parents who were, very financially savvy, I guess the best way to describe it, and were able to put money aside and let that grow for when some of their adult kids or grown kids got to the state of being able to go to college, and their tuition was ready for them. And that's a beautiful thing. But that's a very small percentage of individuals that do that. I know where I come from in the Bahamas. There are a lot of people that do that, and the students, the parents, they really save money. They sacrifice to save money to send their students off to school, whether it be here in the U.S., in Canada, the United Kingdom, or other parts of the world. But the reality is that that's a very, very big component of what we believe in. And there's people here in this country that do the same thing. But the reality is that is not the rule, that is more of the exception. So a lot of people have to get their education by getting loans. So when they come out, they have to pay these hefty loans now in order to get that debt paid off, and it really sets them back. It affects their credit. It does not allow them to save money. It delays the possibility of them to being able to live the American dream, like buying a house, taking vacations. So many people I know who are college educated and are working their jobs, whatever it is, they have, instead of being able to buy a house, they have to rent. If they get a house, a lot of times they're behind on their mortgage. And they still have the student loan debt to pay. In addition to that, They, instead of taking 2 weeks vacations or 3 weeks vacation after being in the company for a while, they have what we call staycations. Why? Because they can't afford to pick up their kids and go to some place like Disney World or to Florida or even overseas and visit on a cruise or something like that. They just can't afford it because being set back from having all of this debt and responsibilities after they finish with their college education. And then this leads to other areas of our lives, social issues and relational issues, and within the family causes stress and dissension between the parents and their children, and then spouses are going at it all the time. So there's a trickling down effect from all of this. And I'm not saying that if a person has this college debt that this causes all of this. What I'm saying is that if they didn't have this college debt, they would be in a better situation where they'd be able to save more money, be able to buy that house, be able to go on vacation, be able to provide an opportunity for their children by saving money for their education. So many students graduate with a BA degree in one thing, and then they find themselves going into another field, not being able to fulfill their dreams. I know there are individuals who know what they want to do. I have a niece that's from Philadelphia, and from she was a little girl, she said she wanted to be a lawyer. And she was blessed to be able to go at the scholarship, to go to Spelman, and now she's in the process of living her dreams and becoming a lawyer. I had another nephew who wanted to be a veterinarian, and he went to school, got his education. As a matter of fact, graduated from an HBCU, from Tuskegee University, with his veterinarian degree, and now he is a doctor taking care of animals in Las Vegas, doing a great job and very, very successful. So I understand there are individuals that know what they want to do. Some are going to be doctors, and they know they want to be doctors, and they have the mindset and the skill and the talent and the brain power to do that. And they pursue that and they achieve it. The people who want to be lawyers, the people who want to be engineers, they are doing that. I have a niece again, and I'm speaking to my family only because I don't want to insult or talk about someone else and be wrong. That's studying over in the West Coast and somewhere in the state of Washington, becoming an engineer and doing an awesome job. I know that's what she decided she wanted to do from an early age. But the reality is there's so many of my family as well that went to college, graduated, and they're doing something completely different from what they got their degree in. Okay, so all of this, what does this mean? My question to you then is this education worth it compared to the possibilities of probably starting your own business? For the entrepreneur side, what I want to do is say to you, why not consider an opportunity like Mart? For an example, someone who decides to venture out and do something different and do something on their own. See, when a person enters the workforce, whether they have a degree or higher education or not, they can find something that it will be able to do. In one of several solutions, they have one of several things that they're able to do. They can do this. They can find a 9-to-5 job. They can work part-time for a job as they pursue some other ventures. They can start their own business. And here's the thing about starting your own business. You can start a traditional business. You can, buy into a franchise if you're blessed to have that type of capital or to be able to borrow that type of money. Again, additional debt. Or you can become and participate in something as simple as an opportunity like Mart. Some people refer to us as a network marketing company. Well, I don't think we're a network marketing company in the way that most people traditionally look at a network marketing company. I look at it as an opportunity, but we are much bigger than that. We are a discount a club, a wholesale club, similar to Sam's Club or BJ's or Costco's, where you have to buy into a membership for a year because, as we always say, membership has its privileges. But the reality is that for Mart, you don't even have to buy into the membership. It's a free lifetime membership with Mart, and you have all the accolades, all the opportunity, all access to all the resources, tools that this opportunity offers every single individual. But in a traditional business, first of all, you have to have the skill. to be able to do that, or the know-how or the education for that particular thing. So if you want to start your own health store even, then you need to know something about health and wellness and nutrition. You have to know about anti-aging and antioxidants and hydration, all those things. You have to know that. Otherwise, someone come into your store, you won't be able to talk to them intelligently about that, okay? If you have to invest in a building. You have to invest in inventory. You have to invest in someone actually coming in there and working for you. So all of these things are good if you can't afford it, but I'm submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that the average person doesn't have the ability to start a traditional business. Franchise. That's a great option. I know some people that buy McDonald's franchises, Burger King franchises, Chick-fil-A. They just came up here in the Waukegan area and Gurnee, and there's in fact an African-American couple, I can't remember the name right now, that own that. But even with that, a couple things have to take place. First of all, you have to have millions of dollars and millions be worth millions of dollars to be able to invest in something like that. And then in addition to that, you have to literally physically work in those types of facilities and those types of franchises in order to maintain your franchise. So even though you own it, you have to be there working. So it's like you buy your own business, but you're there working and slaving over the serving and the cooking and the cleaning and all those kind of things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's the reality of what it is. So as a franchise, if you have millions of dollars, you have the skill set to do it, you have the ability to put the time and energy into it, and then on top of that, they said that the average on average, a person doesn't see a profit until at least 5 years into the business. In other words, your first 5 years, all you're doing is paying bills and getting caught up with your investment before you start seeing a profit. That's a franchise. Now, traditional business franchises compared to something as simple as referral marketing, network marketing, whatever you want to call it, where an individual does not have to have the education. It doesn't matter how old they are. They can be as young as 18 years old. They can be as old as 60, 70 years old, and they will not be discriminated upon. They will have the same opportunity as anyone just starting out, and they have the opportunity now to invest their time into something that's a lot more simpler and less expensive than starting a traditional business or even a franchise. Okay, some of you say, okay, well, you can go ahead and be a lawyer or a doctor. Yeah, that's true. And you make a lot of money doing those types of things. And that's a beautiful thing. The reality is, though, that the additional cost of becoming a doctor or a lawyer is just so astronomical that you spend many of your years in your profession paying off those loans and trying to get ahead. And then in addition to that, you have to pay for so much insurance just to protect yourself from liability. So there's always the pluses and the minuses in all these different areas. So again, please excuse me. I'm not talking bad against one. I'm not talking good for one. All I'm saying is that these are what the situation is. These are what the facts are. You decide which one you think would be best for you. What I found out also that the average cost of a college education just on an undergrad is between $30,000 and $50,000 a year. So if you multiply that out, you're looking at over $200,000, anywhere from $120,000 to $200,000 that you have to pay over a long period of time. I mean, that's that right there is a house that someone can own. But the reality is that is what elevates you now to be able to pursue your dreams and pursue your your employment or your area of work and employment that you want to pursue. And that education is important for that reason. So, you know what? Again, you make the choice. Traditional education, traditional job, franchise, or something that's a little bit more liberal, a little bit more, adventurous, you can say. Maybe not as sure, because a lot of it depends on your own efforts. But the reality is that a company like Mart, for example, if an entrepreneur wanted to pursue something like that, here's some of the things that you can be assured of when it comes to being in an organization such as Mart. Membership is free. There's no membership required to be a part of Shuffle Mart. In other words, once you decide to become a member, you can walk into that back office and choose anything you want, purchase it, and not have to worry about a fee to be a member. And it's a lifetime member. So the members share in the profit. In other words, when you become a part of Shuffle Mart, you are actually just sharing information about something that's beneficial to you, something that you thought was exciting, that you got great results from, that's something that you was happy about. And that makes it very simple because that is something that we do every day. Think about it. When was the last time that you saw a great movie? Went to a very nice restaurant. The food was good, the ambience was good, the service was good. I mean, you were just excited about that. You went and you told all your friends and family about it. When was the last time you sat down and read a nice book? A book that got to your emotions, that made you cry, that made you think, thought-provoking, and you was, my goodness, that was a great book. You don't keep that to yourself. You go out and you share that with others. That is exactly what Shuffle Mart does. We are a buyer's club, a wholesale buyer's club, where you get a lot of privileges, and it allows you to be able to have access to some unbelievable products that actually change people's lives and changing people's lives all over the world. All you have to do, and if you don't believe me, is go to shopfreemart.com, click on the testimonials, and listen to the testimonies, the stories of individuals all around the country, all around the world, actually, that are sharing the awesome results they're getting from using these products. You see, John Austin, our founder and our owner and our CEO, he was specific in what he decided to bring to the table for us to be able to share to the world. He wanted us to have products that actually give the body what it needs to do what the body is designed to do by our great creator, okay? Our body was created to heal itself, but when it doesn't have the nutrients, the vitamins, the minerals that it needs to do this, then we find people getting sick, people getting disease, people dying. And that's why we are so passionate about Shuffle Mart and our mandate to share this with the world. But what Mr. Austin did was he provided us with products that actually give our body the minerals that it needs, so all the connections are taking place, all the sparks, all the electricity that's supposed to be functioning and working over here properly are hitting on cue. All the circulations are taking place where they're supposed to take place. So instead of suffering from diabetes, heart disease, cardiovascular disease, high blood pressure, all these different things, maladies that are out there, your body has what it needs and what it takes to come into regularity, into homeostasis. And that is what John decided to do. So he gave us products that give us the minerals, products to help build up our immune system to fight off all of the oxidants that we are exposed to every single day by just breathing the air. Our environment is toxic. The foods we're eating have been compromised. The places we work, some places have mold, and they're damp. They're not conducive to living a healthy life. So he said, let's give our bodies the things to build up our immune system so we can fight against these diseases. And one very important thing he gave us was the ability to keep our bodies hydrated. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a product called Hydration Drops. Everyone in the world needs to be taking this particular product, Hydration Drops. And let me explain to you why. Again, this is all part of the entrepreneurship. This is a company that a person can decide to be a part of as opposed to going into the traditional way of a traditional market, business, or franchise, or even a regular job. Now, I'm not saying quit your job and do this. I'm saying this is another opportunity, this is another option for you to consider and do it and work it like I am. I'm doing it while I'm working my regular job. And what my intention is to be able to make a difference and share this with people because I know there are people there that need it. And if it gets to the point, and when it gets to the point where I can transition from my regular traditional job to doing it full time, where I can maybe even help more people around the world and do more things, because I'll have the financial freedom, the time freedom to do that, then so be it. That's what my long-term desire is. But the reality is that you can do this and build this while you're doing something else. But this hydration drops. Everyone needs it because everyone on this planet needs water. Now, here's the difference. You may be one of those individuals who say, well, CJ, I'm drinking my water every single day. I'm drinking 5, 6, 7, 8 glasses of water. And I said, congratulations. I applaud you. That is wonderful. But the reality is that you may be drinking a lot of water, but not a lot of that water is getting into your system. Please hear me. What Sugar-Free Mart is introduced to the world, and this is something that we have an exclusive product and solution for, is our hydration drops. Works on a nano level, on a cellular level, where it actually gets into your cells and take the vitamins, the minerals, the all those great things to help your body do what it's supposed to, from whether you're supplementing with pills or liquids or sprays, or from the foods you eat. A lot of times those things, those good things that go into your body, they do not get into your cell so that they can work properly. And what the hydration drop does, and this is ingenious, is that it actually breaks that water down. You mix it with distilled water, it becomes structured to the point where it's at a cellular level, so when you drink it, it gets into your cell. So instead of drinking 8, 9, 10 glasses of water a day, you may drink just maybe 3 or 4 glasses of water a day and be hydrated as if you drank 8 or 9 glasses of water a day. And how many of us want to drink, are able to drink 8 or 9 glasses of water a day, where we have to go run into the bathroom every 5 minutes, and we're on a job where it doesn't allow us to do that? So there are other complications involved with that. But here's why this product, and I'm talking about this specifically today because it's such a powerful product that John Austin decided that we will put into our arsenal, into another arrow in our quiver of products that will allow us to make a difference in the world. There are people all over the world that are dying from hydration. Tell you a quick story. I have a nephew up in Canada who called and said he was in the hospital and he wasn't feeling well and he just didn't know what was going on. And, you know, he's not known to be sick, or sickly, I should say. But when he went to the doctor, the thing they told him was that, Tyler, you are dehydrated. I know he's a hardworking young man. He's probably studying every day and putting time into his efforts, into his books, and really getting that education. But he was neglecting his body by not giving it the proper amount of water, or hydration water, I should say, to keep his body healthy. So his body got run down to the point where he was sick. So guess what I decided to do? I decided to send him a bottle of hydration drops right away so that it doesn't happen to him in the future. But that's just one story. How many of you have gone to the emergency room and the very first thing that they do is they put you on drips or drops, or however you want to refer to it, to give you an IV of fluids going into your body? Why? Because they know that is one thing for sure your body's going to be experiencing, and that is dehydration. So dehydration, ladies and gentlemen, is a very serious thing. Sugar-Free Mart, one of the products that John Austin is producing to the world is our hydration drops, which eliminates that problem, and it causes so many other things in your body to work better. You drink this hydration drops, and everything you take just seems to enhance, seems to work and function at a higher level. The other thing that John decided to do is he wanted to give us products that actually cleanse our body, which is a very key component to our staying healthy. A lot of times we are so impacted with just masses of waste in our system. I mean, the statistic is that we have at any given day anywhere from 7 to 15 pounds of waste in our bodies at all times, which causes us to be overweight, which causes us to be sluggish, which causes everything to work at a lower level. And so what John Austin said, let's give the body what it needs to eliminate all of that waste so that we can live a more refreshed life. And I always look at it this way. I'll give you a good example. If you want to clean your house, for example, the first thing you want to do is get rid of all of the garbage out of it before you can even clean and make it presentable. That's the same thing with our body. We have to get all of the garbage out, all of the feces out, all of the junk out from all the things we're being exposed to so that now we can give it good nutrition. And I always looked at it this way. This is always a visual for me. If you have a cell that's dirty, that's laden with toxins and poisons and all kind of debris and all kind of things, and you want that to work and function and do what it's designed to do, it's not going to do it properly. But if you clean it out, you wash it out, you cleanse it, and it's fresh and light and able now to be able to function the way it was designed to, you get better results. So I know that was kind of very kindergarten form explanation, but reality is it gives you the visual of how these products work. So one thing, again, why I think people should consider something like Shop-Free Mart is not only because it's free. You don't have to be on an auto ship. You don't have to even buy a product if you don't want to. You don't have to buy a product in order to get promoted in the company or to even advance or get paid like most companies or they require you to do. Again, that auto ship is the big thing. The Shop-Free Mart says if you can start your business, be an entrepreneur, whether you have an education or not, and you can build a business as big as you want depending on your commitment, depending on your efforts, depending on your desire and your dreams. And again, we want to make sure that we have an opportunity to live our dreams. Because remember what I said at the beginning, don't downgrade your dreams to match your reality, but upgrade your faith to maintain your destiny. Because I really know that a lot of you are out there have big dreams. You have a destiny that you want to reach to where you want to be financially free, debt free. You want to have the time to be able to go and do the things that you want to do, whether it be just being able to spend more time with your family, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, whether it be taking them on a very life dream experience on a cruise or an exotic island and just have a great time. Or you just want to be able to afford to take them out to an expensive dinner without worrying about what the cost of the meal is. That was always one of my dreams, is just being able to go to a restaurant, any restaurant, and have all my children, all my grandchildren, whoever else want to come. I'm kind of liberal like that. And don't even look at the numbers. Just order whatever you want off the menu. I mean, if you had that dream, where you could go someplace and not worry about what the cost is. That's what Shop-Free Mart offers you. So again, I talked about the product that John offered, made available to us, which is a big part of Shop-Free Mart. But what he did also that was mind-blowing is he is doing something that's just unheard of in the industry. Shop-Free Mart actually pays out 90% of their profits to the field. In other words, just by being a representative where you are sharing the love of Shop-Free Mart around the world, sharing something that you have found to be successful and gotten results from, you are now able to go out there and make up to 90% of what the company brings in. Dr. Breakthrough, Dr. Stan Harris calls it reverse tithing. I like that concept. In other words, most people give 10%, keep 90. What Shop-Free Mart is doing is giving 90 and keeping 10. How they do it is a whole nother TV show that I'm going to probably talk about one of these days because it's very interesting, that whole concept. But the reality is that is what John Austin decided to do with this awesome company. So here, let's break it down. You can go and get a typical education, probably go into debt getting that education, probably have a chance of anywhere from 50%, maybe 45, 50% of graduating, starting your own business, buying a franchise, or just going to work and be a part of what we call the 40-40 plan, where you work for a company for 40 years, 40 hours a week to get 40% of what your earnings was once you retire. And they expect you to live of that 40%. And that is a formula that most people really doesn't work for them. So that is why I want you to consider something like Shop-Free Mart, okay? Because, again, you have great products. You have great leadership, a man with a vision, a leadership with vision. You have all these things that they're giving to you as far as tools, resources to build your business. And on top of that, they're paying you 90% of the profits to put in your pocket to be able to live that dream and acquire that income that will help you get out of debt, live the life of your dreams, travel the world, give back to your church, give back to your community, give back to missions, give back to you, sending individuals to school and getting their education, if that's what you so desire. Helping those that are homeless, that are marginalized, who are set back, because that is what we're here. That's here for, ladies and gentlemen. We are here not just to receive, but to give. And that's why I love Shaw Free Mart. That's why I'm using this as a comparison, because some of us, again, would just want to stay in that job. And I don't know what all the reasons are, but you have your reasons. And that's okay. But the option of being in something as simple as Shaw Free Mart is an option that you now can consider. And I want to encourage you to go to www.shawfreemart.com and check it out. I haven't done this in the past, but I'm going to give you my email address, because there's some of you that may not know how to reach me and get in contact with me. You can always call in or write into the station, GMAP1.com, and you can call in at 302-202-1110. And if you want to be a part of this broadcast, punch in the code 538661. Let me repeat that. You can dial in at 302-202-1110, and the pin to come in and be a part of the show, whether it be today or in the future, is 538661. So call in and then find out more about Shaw Free Mart. Just email me at, again, cyrvant@gmail.com. That's servant@gmail.com. cyrvant.com. Okay? And let me know what you think about what I'm saying. You may email me and say, CJ, man, you're crazy. What you're talking about is just not right. It's crazy. And that's fine. That's your opinion, and I respect that. But I just want you to do this. Consider where you're at. Consider this opportunity that I'm saying to you of Shaw Free Mart, and why at least I'm telling you why I'm in favor of it, okay? And see how it works out for you. And if it's something that doesn't work for you, or you're not comfortable with it, then don't do it. That's the beauty of it. And here's another thing, and this is what sets us apart from every other company out there. If you decide to become a part of Shaw Free Mart and become a free member for life, and you do absolutely nothing, you didn't have to get on an auto ship, you didn't have to pay to get in, you didn't have to pay for training, you didn't have to pay for the tools, the resources, the technology, you didn't pay for anything. There is absolutely nothing that you would lose if nothing happened. You didn't lose anything, not even time, because you didn't put any energy or effort into it. So that is why I love this opportunity, because there are individuals who are going to get excited and who are going to get hyped up and say, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm going to kill the world with this, and they do absolutely nothing. But here's the thing. They don't have to worry about their bank account having an extraction of $39.99, $69.99, $199.99 every single month, and not doing anything to offset that or to combat that. That, ladies and gentlemen, is done away with. It was the genius of Mr. John Austin who said this: I'm going to bring honor and integrity back to the free enterprise. I'm going to bring in transparency and commitment to the small individual like you and me back to the network marketing industry. Because the reality is there has been a black eye in this industry where a lot of people have been bamboozled, a lot of people have been tricked, a lot of people have been sold a bag of goods that wasn't really there. And there have been people who had great successes, and even then, when they had those successes, they had it snatched right from under them. So there's a lot of variations in this arena. However, what John Austin said, and I love this, is let's keep it simple. Let's not complicate it. Let's not have these complicated compensation plans. Let's have these complicated necessities or processes of getting involved. Let's eliminate all that stuff and just have a simple program where a person can come in for free. If they decide to buy a product, they do it. If they see something that they feel will help them or their loved ones, they buy it. If they don't have to. And if they decide to buy a product, then someone will get rewarded with it. It's such a simple program, and it's very, very powerful. And let me tell you how I know this is such a powerful business marketing tool, or a business plan that will work and will continue to work. Let me tell you how I know this. When I started and I connected with this company 3 years ago, I was number 415. Just a few months ago, just before the end of the year, we were at, I think our numbers were like around 30,000 members. Right now, today, we're over 65, heading towards 70,000 just in a short period, 3 or 4 months. We're going towards 70,000 members, free members that are part of Short Free Mart. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what they call exponential growth. I anticipate by next year we'll probably be over 500,000 to 1 million individuals that are going to be a part of it, because that 65, 70,000 is going to turn to 150. That 150 is going to turn to 300,000. That 300,000 is going to be to 600,000. 600,000 is going to be to over 1 million. That million is going to be 2 million. And this may take 3, 4, 5 years from now, but the reality is that this company is here for the long haul. This company is here to be here for individuals that decide to jump in with both feet and decide to make a difference in this world by sharing these awesome products that are changing lives all over the globe. Now, I know I've been doing a lot of talking because there's so much I want to say. Do I have time for that video? So I want to end the show with this, because here's the bottom line to all of this. You, as an individual, have to make up your own mind where the traditional form of education, the traditional form of business, compared to what I presented to you today in the form as an entrepreneur for Short Free Mart, is for you or not. But I want you to listen to this video because I think it's very powerful and it gives a good view of where our young people are today. So I want to play this, only 6 minutes long, and then I want to close. And I hope something was said today that help you to make a better decision for your life and your family's life. So let's hear this video real quick.
Your son is a failure. He's barely passing my class, and with grades like this, I'm just not sure what kind of future he's gonna have. What do you have to say for yourself? You're supposed to graduate this year.
Listen to Mr. Johnson. What kind of future do you think you're gonna have?
With all due respect, don't call me a failure. Failure is an event, not a person, in fact. And you talk about the future, Mr. Johnson, but you're not preparing us for that.
Excuse me?
Just listen to what I'm saying.
This should be good.
Would you agree that in the future, most careers will become automated?
Yeah, so?
So the people who succeed will have to be curious, innovative, with resilience to adapt to new changes.
What's your point?
My point is, the focus in this school is not on that. It is on regurgitating information and test taking, and that's just real. But in today's world, creativity is the most important leadership skill.
Oh, that's how you feel.
You don't have to believe me, but maybe you will believe the 1,500 executives who recently said creativity is the most important leadership skill. See, pretty soon, no one will be hired because of what they know. Because who cares what you know or if you've memorized a fact? We've got Google and Siri for that. In the future, people will be hired because of what they can do with their knowledge. Can they creatively solve real-world problems, not just follow instructions or directions and bubble in multiple choice questions? So, Mom, that's why I'm stressed, because these robotic tasks we learn in school should stop. Because no one can do a robot's job better than a robot. Billionaire founder of Alibaba, Jack Ma, said that we should not compete with artificial intelligence, but instead focus on developing unique human intelligence. Mr. Johnson, drills are for teeth, not the human mind. So these repetitive knowledge-based tasks we must leave behind. Or in the future, you're gonna find a lot of people graduating out of your class right into the unemployment line. See, many top companies today don't look at grades. Mom, that old way is expiring. Google has been quoted as saying GPAs are worthless criteria for hiring. Founder of Tesla, Elon Musk, agrees. So I say this with unease and sorrow. If you continue to teach today as you taught yesterday, then you rob us students of tomorrow. Mr. Johnson, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Sometimes sitting in your class is tough. I'm constantly thinking, if I don't look up at the clock, maybe it'll speed up. So I listen to you do my work and pay attention, feeling like an hour had to have gone by, but it was only 3 minutes. So if you wonder why we're bored in class, look, you want to get a kid to hate reading? Give them this, a school textbook. And some people think it's our fault, and that hurts me. They say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And to that I say no. Firstly, you can put salt in that horse's hay and make him thirsty. And if you bring joy in your classroom, you can make any bad student nerdy. As he or she discovers the beauty of truly learning. Mr. Johnson, I mean no disrespect. You have the most important job on this planet. You build, create, and save lives. But if you really care about my future, like you say, then you have to fully commit and ask yourself honestly, how do I prepare a child for a future that doesn't yet exist? Here's a hint. The answer is not found in this. It's using this and this. See, in the future, we will need more passion and compassion. People with inspired hearts and wisdom to uplift this planet. And Mom, I love you, but can I be real?
Go ahead.
You want to know one of the biggest factors for childhood success? It's not IQ. It's family meals. And we haven't had one of those in a while. See, I know sometimes you don't feel proud, because I may not be a straight A student, but I'm not stupid. These tests may be 70% of my grade, but they're 0% of my future. But don't worry, I'll pass this class and get through this. But I need you to give me the space I need to be me and live true. Because the best feeling in the world is that your own parents get you. There's a passage in a book called The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. And if you don't mind, I'd love to share it with you.
Go ahead.
See, he says, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, they do not belong to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow. So Mom, I'd appreciate it if you give me the love that I need to pursue my dreams. See, if we are to succeed, all three of us need behavior change on all fronts. We talk about the future, but the future is now, and it is created now by all of us.
I've never heard you speak like that before.
Yeah, I didn't know.
But I'm going to reach out to administration and try to change some things. You have my word.
Wow, wow, wow. What a way to end the show. I just nothing else I can say. You know, I know it's referring and specifically talking about our kids and helping them to figure these things out about getting an education and what they're going to do with their lives. And the reality is that we need to give our kids the support and encouragement, and we need to give each other, because we are all students. We are all growing and developing, and we have to use our creativity. We have to use the resources that we have in our hands to do all that we can do. And I'm here to say to you, Shop Free Mart is an opportunity for you to take a look at, to see if it ties in with your dreams and your aspirations. And if it does, come and be a part of us. ShopFreeMart.com. Take a look at it. Talk to someone that shared this with you, and just get involved. I want to thank you for all being a part of this TV broadcast this week. We're here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Time. Tune in, invite your friends, come back and see us next week. I want to say to you, have a great Shop Free Mart day. God bless you.